Hello everybody, my name is Cool, but I'm bringing out this video of me talking about some board games, and this is going to be a video in the Small Box Big Game series, because man, I completely forgot I had this series. It's been so long. But the Small Box Big Game series, and this is going to be me talking about the Small Box. I've already done a playthrough of this one, and you should have seen that already, or that video would have come before that, or before this one, but I'm going to do a review of this one. So let me get our background music started, because you know I love my background music. And there we go, nice smooth and soothing music going. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this one. So this game, Dragons of Etchinstone, is a game where your goal is to try and make it through to fight the final dragons. And there are 4 different dragons here. Sorry, where is that? There it is. There are 4 different dragons you can fight. There's these 2, and there's these 2, and you choose which one you're going to fight at the end of the game. So I'm going to choose this one. And then you will set up everything else. So I'm going to kind of teach and explain this game, or sorry, explain enough about this game and teach enough about this game so I can actually get to a review towards the end. So if you are watching YouTube, feel free to skip to the end to the time, using the time codes there, or the timestamps, so you can get to the part that you want to see. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and continue on here. So I have my dragon that I've chosen. I'm going to be fighting Helsing here, and I have my reminder card, and I have my region card. So I have region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4. I'm gonna put those cards here in a little stack. And this game is designed in such a way that you can play it one-handed. So I mentioned before that you'll be playing, trying to get through challenges, and you'll be getting through those challenges using these mage cards here. These mage cards, there are 16 of them. There are 4 of each color. There's 4 purples, 4 reds, 4 yellows, and 4 blues. And they'll all start on level 2. And these cards have different levels, so if I rotate this card like this, it's a level 1 card. If it's here, it's a level 2 card. If it's here, it's level 3. If it's here, it's level 4. And I'll explain how the upgrades work, because I'll play through a few rounds so we can kind of get a nice hold of all the rules and everything. But for now, this is my deck of mages, so I'm going to give this a good shuffle here, as best a shuffle as I can possibly give them. And then after that, I'm going to take my region cards and put them right here on top, like so. Yeah, it's supposed to be current region, but I'll put both of them. Sure, it doesn't matter. But our regions cards here on top, like so. And then I will take my dragon card and put it here on the bottom. I'm going to put my reminder card. Put a reminder card. I'll put it up here with the regions. That way I don't have it too far away. Okay, cool. And then I put that there. And now I'm ready to play this game in my hand. So I have my stuff here. Now, so what I'll do on my turn is I'll have a hand of 4 cards. I'll sign those 4 cards in a certain way, and then I'll see if I can face my challenge. If I have a major success, a minor success, or a failure, I'll take consequences if there's consequences associated with it, and then I'll move on to the next round, or I'll get to upgrade, and then I'll move on to the next round. And that's how the flow of the game works. So starting off with the first part here, I'm going to go ahead and draw my hand. So I'm going to start with 4 cards in my hand. So I'm going to go to my deck, draw 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And these cards are going to go over here into my hand. And then this card here that's on the top of the deck is going to tell me which challenge I'm facing. So I'm facing a travel challenge, number 1. So I'm going to go down here. These boxes are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 for enemy fighting. And for this one, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 for the walking challenge here. So, in this particular case, I am going to have my hand of cards. Now, I'm going to be facing this first challenge. So now, this first challenge is telling me that I need to have a condition to win of 12. And if I fail to have that, then I will lose 2 cards from the top of my deck. I'll lose 2 time, which in this case is going to be 2 cards from the top of my deck. Now, the way that pans out is essentially I will have to get these little boot symbols, and these little boot symbols here, and I'll have to use those boot symbols to reach 12. Now, in order to do that, I have to assign my cards a certain way. So my cards, depending on what position they're in, they'll be given a few different assignments here. So if they're in first position, which in this case is this card here, the fleet-footed. If it's in first position, it's in my reserve, which means that this card will not do anything this round. It'll be, I can hold on to it for the next round, and it will not be discarded at the end of the round. So that's a reserve. The second position is my element. That tells me what element I'm going to be using for my particular card. So in this case, Rain of Blood is showing it's a yellow element. So I'm just looking at it for the color. And also when I'm fighting enemies, not in this case, but when I'm fighting enemies, it'll give me a priority, in this case, a priority of 3. But again, for a travel challenge that I'm doing right now, I do not need to take into account priority. The next card is going to be the actual card, the spell that I'm using. In this case, it's Determined March. So this is going to be a spell that I'm using, and it's going to give me whatever the symbol is here. Now, if I played a color that matched, so if I played a purple, it would give me 7 movement. But in this case, because I did not play a purple here for my element, it's going to give me only 4 attack. And then finally, my last card is going to be my boost. And the boost is going to be this symbol down here. And it's going to give me a plus to either my priority or a plus to my whatever I'm using here for my spell. And I will have to determine that it's a one or the other, not both. So in this case, I can do +2 to my priority, which is useless in this case of a travel challenge, because I need to get to 12 and there's no priority that I'm fighting against. If you look up here at this enemy in the 3rd position, you'll see that they have 9 health, 6 priority, 2 damage, and 2 health. This is where priority would come in, but again, it's not relevant for our challenge, so we'll ignore it for the rest of the remainder of this one. And then finally, for travel challenges specifically, if my element matches, so in this case, this card, that's in 2nd position, if my element matches the challenge that I'm doing, then I will be able to use, sorry, not the element. Sorry, if the spell that I'm using, so in this case, this one here, so this one is a gray, so it does not match. But the spell that I'm using matches the color here, then I will be able to use my reserve card's boost to add to my challenge. So to put it in plainer terms, to actually play this out the way I would play it out, what I would do in this case is I would actually want to have this card as my spell, and I want this card to be activating it. So this is my element, this is my spell. And that means that one of these 2 cards needs to be put into the side here. Let's see. I want to put this card as my reserve. And then this card is my boost. So what this means is that in this case, my element is going to be yellow, which means I will be able to use this version of the spell, which is going to be a 9 walking, which is perfect. And then I get a boost of 3, so it's going to be 3 plus 9, so it's going to be 11, or not 11, 12. And then finally, because, lost my card here, because my element, my spell that I'm using, I should say, matches what we're doing here, that means that I also get to add this to my movement as well. So I get to add +2. Normally you would not be able to do this, but in this case for Journey specifically, you will get to do this. So this is, once again, unique to doing the bottom set of actions. The top set of actions work in a different way, and we'll explain that hopefully on the next card when we actually get to it. So in this case, I will have enough to overcome the challenge, so therefore we move on to the next phase. So we'll check to see, did I meet or exceed this number? If the answer is yes, that I meet and exceeded this number, then nothing further happens, no further consequences happen, and I'll get 5 experience points to spend. If I did not meet or exceed this number, then we ask the question of, did I at least get to half, in this case 6? So did I get 6 or higher, but lower than 12? If the answer is yes, then I will suffer the consequences of 2, so I'll lose 2 time, so 2 cards from my deck will be discarded, and then I will get my experience anyway. And the final question we ask is, if I did not get at least half of the challenge here, then I will lose 2 time in this case, and I will get nothing, and the round is over. And at the end of the round, during the cleanup phase, I'll discard all of the cards that I used, which in this case will be every card except for my reserve. Even though I got to use the boost here because of the bonus, it is not considered used in this case. So all 3 of these cards, the element, the spell, and the boost, they get discarded. And then I'll draw a hand of 3 more cards to refill my hand. So let me go ahead and finish playing this one out. We're doing challenge 1 because this card on top of the deck told me we're doing challenge 1. And as far as the cards that we had in our hand, we decided to play them this way. Our reserve is going to be this card here. Our element is going to be yellow with a priority of 3, but again, priority is not relevant here. And then we have 9 here for our movement, because this is a yellow element. We get to activate this one instead of just that one. So we get to activate the better version. So it's going to be a 9. And then finally, our boost is going to be +3 because we got a +3 there. And that's going to be 3 plus 9. It's going to be 12. So we do succeed. We do succeed in our challenge just with this alone. And in addition to that, because the spell that we use matched what region we're going in, that does give us the ability to add +2 to our movement. So we technically have 14, which is way more than we need, but we don't need that, so we don't have to count that in, but we can if we want to just feel cool about it. All right, so now we exceeded the challenge. We now get to do the upgrade, so we will get 5 XP for this challenge. So 5 XP means that we can look at the bottom of the cards here. You can see here in the bottom corner, there's a number. And any card that did not take damage this round, did not get suffer consequences by being reduced, which we'll explain in the next fight, hopefully next set of cards that we get. Those cards cannot be upgraded this round, but all the other cards can be upgraded. So in this case, all these cards can be upgraded. I have 5 experience points. There we go. I have 5 experience points. So I'm going to choose to upgrade this one I'm holding on to so I can use it next round. So we're going to upgrade that by flipping it over. Like so, and I have 1 experience point left. I cannot spend it on anything, so therefore I'm done. Now I'm done with that. We do cleanup, so we take all the cards I played and we throw them to the back of the deck. Notice that these cards will be under the dragon down here, so that shows me that once I run out of cards between the dragon and the region, then that lets me know that okay, I'm at the end of the round. So in this case, that's done, and then I will draw my hand back up to 4 cards. So I'll draw 3 cards. So 1, 2, 3. And now we go into our next challenge, which is another journey. So we'll go ahead and continue playing this. So we got a journey here. So it's going to be 4. So we're doing this journey here. So we need 10, and it's purple. And there's no other special things. Sometimes the journeys will have special things, but in Region 1, it won't have that. So we're not going to face anything like that. But in this case, we need 10. So, and it's a purple. So I think we can accomplish that without too much fuss. What we're going to do is we're actually going to just do, let's see, I'm going to switch these 2 cards because I want to boost this card. So we're going to, I want to upgrade this card. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our element be yellow. We're going to have this spell here, which is going to be a 9, which is perfect. Then we're going to have this be a boost of +3. So it's going to be 12 again, and the element does not match the challenge here, so we do not get to add the boost from here too. So instead, we just have ourselves a plain old 12, and that's more than enough to accomplish this goal. So we do succeed. We will get 3 experience points. So we'll take that 3 experience points and spend it on that card, and then we'll discard the rest of these cards. And it's getting a little messy here, but still flowing through. And then we draw our next 3. And then we see our next challenges, and finally we have a fight. All right, cool. We got a fight. We got a battle on our hands. So for the fight, actually I'm gonna take this card and put it under the dragon because it's getting in the way. 1 second. There we go. Sorry, it's getting harder to hold here. Boom. There we go. Like that. Okay. So we got challenge number 3 for the fighting. So we're going to go to our card, and we're fighting this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's number 3. And this one is a little bird fighter guy, person, lady, human creature. I don't know. Bird creature that we're fighting. This creature has 9 health. They have 6 priority. They'll be doing 2 damage to us if we do not take them out first. And they will be able to block 2 blue damage. If we do blue damage, if we do a blue element damage, then they'll be blocking 2 of it automatically. So in that case, we need to be mindful of that. So they have 9 health. They have a priority of 6. So I think in this case, we have an opportunity to do 8 damage to them. But the problem is, oh, actually no, that's actually not a problem. Oh no, that is a problem still. All right, this is tough. So, sorry, I was thinking a lot of things at the same time, but I didn't say out loud what I was thinking. So what I was thinking was that, what if I use this card here for my element, because it gives me a priority of 6, which matches. So if it matches or exceeds, then I go first. So in this case, it matches. And then I use this card here as my attack, which gives me 5. And then I use, oh, that's not gonna be enough. Shoot. The problem is that this card and this card will give me the priority that I need, but unfortunately I don't have the right colors. So here's how we're gonna do this. There's 2 other things you can do in this game that I have not explained yet, but I'll explain them now since they're relevant. One thing I can do is I can take any of my cards, discard that card, and then discard the top card of the deck. and then that lets me avoid, that lets me pass on the challenge that I'm doing. If I do that, you'll notice that I'll have less cards in my hand. Then I can look at the next challenge that's going to be on the next card, and I can choose to evade that one too by discarding another card and then discarding the top card of the deck, so it burns through my deck faster. And then I will be forced to face my next challenge with just 2 cards in my hand. If that's the case, then I'll have an element and a spell, and that's it. And then I won't have a reserve, I won't have a boost. So there's consequences to doing that. The second thing I can do is what's called a fusion. I think it's called a fusion, or fuse, not fusion. And fuse allows me to combine 2 cards, and then when I combine 2 cards, more likely your reserve card into another card. When I reserve those 2, or when I fuse those 2 cards, it'll allow me to choose any, or make that card any color element. So in that case, I get to change the element of the card that I'm playing for my element side. So the reason why it's relevant is because what I can do is I can actually take this card. Let's see, what card was it? Let's see, because I only need 9. Yeah, so it doesn't matter which card. I can take this card and have it as my reserve card, and then do a fuse. So I can fuse these 2 cards together, and now I can make this blue. So this is a blue element, which triggers this for the 7, and gives me the +2. So it gives me the tool that I need to actually take this guy out. So my priority will be 6, which is good. That means I get to fight first. And then I'll be able to deal 7 + 2 damage, so 9 to take him out. So I won't have to deal with the consequences, and I won't have to, shoot. Sorry, I forgot about the blue shields. Man. It's almost as if they were planning for me to do that. All right, hold on, change of plans. So we're gonna do the same thing, but we are going to fuse a different set of cards here. So we're gonna fuse these 2 like that, and that should be enough. So okay, same thing, just different solution to it. So we have a priority of 6. This has been fused, so I can make this a red card. And actually, hold on, do I need to do that? No, I do need to do that because this does not have a high enough priority. That's why I'm doing this. I could add my boost to my priority, but I won't have enough damage to take them out, which means that they'll still do 2 damage to me. So that's the reason why I'm doing this fuse, to get the 6 boost here, or 6 priority here, which is what I need. Make this a red, and that gives me the 8 here. So that's going to be the 8 attack, which is going to be good because his shields are not red. And then it's going to give me +4 boost, which is overkill, but it's fine. I'll use that for the damage, of course, and that will allow me to take them out first before they get to attack me back. So I do finally succeed on that, but it cost me quite a bit. It cost me my reserve card and a lot of brain power, but here we are. So my reward is going to be 5 experience points, and I will be able to upgrade even the card I fused. Because I fused the card, I will need to discard that card too for my reserve. So I'll have a fresh hand of 4 cards, but at the very least, I succeed in that challenge. I will decide to upgrade this card here. And I have 1 experience left. I cannot hold on to it, so it's going to go to waste. So all these cards are discarded. And I'll draw a hand of 4. And we have another fight. So I'll finish out this fight, and then I will... I'll finish out this round, and then I'll go into my review finally. So here we have a fight on card number 1. So it's going to be this one here. Now, there are times where the enemy or the journey is what it's called. The enemy of the journey could have specials here. And again, it's a little bit blurry here because I'm kind of holding my cards here. So let me try to get this focus a little bit better. I'm having trouble reading it myself. As good as I can get it. So this is as good as we're going to have it. But these cards here, these symbols here will do different things, have different effects. And those things will come into effect. These symbols can come either here on the one that's telling me to which challenge I'm facing, or on the enemy themselves. So for instance, if I go to the other side of this card, you'll see that this side has like this little range symbol. This one has this little whatever that symbol is. This one has that symbol. These challenges, these journeys could even have symbols on them too. So it becomes increasingly harder as you go along. But for now, we don't have any special symbols. We're just fighting the first enemy there. We got a fresh hand of 4 cards, so we'll see if we can take them out. So let's see, they are a priority 8, which is quite a bit. I will not be able to do anything to get a faster priority to them, so I will be taking a hit. So we get to at least see how that works. And then they have a shield of yellow 1, and I need to do 7 to take them out. So I think I will be able to take him out. So we can do element purple. So purple elements. And then we'll switch these two around. So we have our reserve is this card, our element's purple, and then our attack is going to be a 5 attack. So we'll do the 5 attack, and then we'll have +3 to boost it, and we'll boost the attack. Now, when the enemy has a faster priority than me, that means that they will do what's called early damage. Early damage will take into account during the consequences, and early damage is also separate from normal damage. So early damage means that they'll do their damage to me, and then during the consequences phase, and then afterwards we'll check to see if they were taken out. If they were not taken out, then they'll do another round of damage to me that I'll have to deal with before I get a chance to upgrade. So again, we'll be able to experience and explore all that here this round, because I have nothing I can do to increase my priority high enough. Actually, that's not true. I could. Is it worth it? No, I can't. Well, no, I can. Because I only need to deal 8 damage to take him out, don't I? Oh man, I'm over here just accepting defeat when I have an option to win. Okay, hold on. So we can play this 8 here. And hold on, let's just literally just move that like so. Okay, all right, so I'm not taking any damage, cool. I went back and did the math, I reviewed the footage. So we have a priority of 5, and we have a boost of 3. So we're gonna add the boost to the priority. So we have a priority of 8 now. And then we're gonna do our damage, which our damage is gonna be 8 damage, because that's a red element there, no blocks. So it's gonna be enough to take him out. So cool, we overcame him. We overcame it, we took him out. We didn't have to face any damage. If I were to face damage, which I'll explain here, then this damage will be dealt to one of my cards. So I'll choose any of my cards. If the card has a matching element here on the shield to the damage that they're doing, then this will be 4 block instead of 2 block. But otherwise, it's just 2 block for anything else. So in this case, I could take it here, could take it there. Now, if I am taking damage from a card, then first thing I'll do is I'll look at the number and I'll keep that in mind. So I'm blocking for 2, and then I'll demote the card, like so. So I'll be able to block 2 of the damage that they dealt me, and then the card's still demoted, and I can use this card to take more damage if I needed to. Subsequently, during my upgrade phase, any card that was demoted that took damage cannot be upgraded this same round. So in this case, if this was my reserve, I would have to wait till next round to be able to upgrade it. If it's over here, it's going to be discarded, so it will be just a level 1 until I see it again and get it back into my hand. But for this situation, I was able to clear this particular enemy and take him out. So I'll have my 4 experience points to spend, and I can choose any of these cards. Clearly, I'm going to choose my reserve card because I want to have it for next round. A nice little boosted card there. And we'll throw these out, and we'll draw our next 4. So we need 3 more. So 1, 2, okay. So anytime that you have less than 5 cards, because you need 1 card here, less than 5 cards, which is counting 1 card here and 4 cards there, then you'll be at the end of the round. When you're at the end of the round, you'll do a few things. First, you'll check to see, are you on region 4? If you're on region 4 and you're at the end of the round, then you'll move on to the end game, which I'll let you guys explore how that goes later on your own. But if you are playing through, if you're not on round 4, if you're not on region 4, then you'll essentially flip over this region or move to the next region. You'll take all of your mages that are there, not including ones that have been KO'd permanently, so not including ones that have been eliminated from the deck, which those will end up going in the middle here between the dragon, between the other region and the dragon, just showing that those cards don't go back in the deck. And then you'll take this and keep in the same orientation, you'll shuffle, because remember the orientation affects what level the card is. You'll give it the best shuffle you can as far as shuffling all the cards you have left. And then you'll take those cards, you'll put them back into the arena here. And again, if you have any cards that are eliminated, they'll end up going between these 2 cards here to show that they don't go back in the stack. And then you'll draw your 4. All right, I'll play this last round and then I'll finally get into my review. So now that we're here, we're doing challenge number 2, which is gonna be this guy, this nasty person. So this challenge number 2, like that. And let's see, we got our cards here. So he has 10 health, 8 priority, and that is That is a lot. So 10 health is quite a bit too. 8 priority is the thing I'm most afraid about. So, I'm not going to be able to avoid early damage. So I will be taking a hit here, which is not great. So we'll finally see me take a hit because I have 4. The best I can do is 5 plus 3. No, sorry, 5 plus 4. So I can do 9, but I won't have enough damage, will I? Oh, no. Okay, cool. I don't have to take a hit again. All right. Okay, cool. Look at me being a Debbie Downer here. So we do that. Oh no, I take it back. I still will, because if my boost is going to my priority, that means my damage has to be at least 10, and I don't have a way to get damage to at least 10. So, all right. In that case, I am still taking a hit regardless. That's unfortunate. So let's go ahead and play our cards right. We're getting 4 experience points, so I want to keep this card into my reserve so I can get this to my level 4 side and just have a lot of fun with that one. For everything else, let's see. We want to get our well, we're suffering either early damage or we're suffering normal damage. So I think in this case, early damage makes more sense. I don't have to worry about the priority anymore. I'm just going to focus on the damage, and I think this is enough to take them out. So let's switch these two. So my element is red. My attack is going to be this red attack here, and then my boost is going to be +2 to my attack. So I do 10 damage. They do strike me during the early damage phase, so I will be taking a hit of 2 damage here. And my attack that I'm doing is red, so I get to ignore the little shield there. So I do take him out, but I do still suffer damage. And suffering consequences, they dealt 2 damage, so I'll let this card be the one that takes the hit. Like so. And then when I'm upgrading, essentially this card is no longer eligible to be upgraded this round, so I'm just going to put it over to the side here just to remind myself. And now I can upgrade. I have 4 experience points from them, so I'll upgrade this one because it's 4, and I got this one to level 4, and then all these cards are going to be discarded like so. And yeah, there we go. And then we draw our next 4, or draw our next 3. And then our next challenge is going to be for number 3. So 3, 1, 2, 3. So this one, and then we keep going. If there's any symbols, we'll look up the symbols and we'll try to find out what they do, and then we play along. So that's pretty much the entire game there. You pretty much keep doing that until you get to the end, and then once you get to the end game, it changes the rules up. The rule book will explain that, but I'll just go ahead and briefly talk about it here. When you get to the in-game dragon, they'll be there. It'll be just you and the dragon. For the first round, you're going to be doing the journey side, and for the second round, you're going to be doing the fighting side. So the first round, you're going to draw 7 cards. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, first thing you'll do is you'll shuffle all your cards, just simulating that is happening now. And then you'll draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put the other cards here to the side for a moment. And of those 7 cards, you're trying to make yourself 2 sets with 1 card in reserve. So 2 sets and 1 card in reserve. Let me see if I can try to win this here with this very underwhelming set of cards. And you look at the card here for the dragon, and I think there we go. If you look at the card here for the dragon, you'll see that they have all these travel sides here, all the stuff here. They'll have a priority, they'll have a damage, they'll have a block, they'll have another block. Ooh, I forgot to mention that in the last one. Actually, let me check. Did that matter last time? That might have mattered. Oh well. All right. I'll mention that in my playthrough notes because I completely forgot to look for the amount that they blocked. Anyway, continuing on, and then on the other side they'll have their attack side. So focusing first on this side, what we'll do is we will. Oh, I see. Hold on. And there we go. All right, so focus on this side. What we'll do is we will just kind of bring that over an overlay that I had for our playthrough. And like I said, we'll see if we can try to make it through. I doubt it, but we'll see. So first thing we'll do is we're trying to do the journey side. So we'll build 2 different sets. This is going to be a purple journey, and we are ignoring everything else. We're just focusing only on the journey side. So we need purple journey movement to kind of get the best of it. In this case, I'm going to do this. Oh man, this is difficult. So this is gonna give me a 5 if I do that. Trying to math here. So it's gonna be 10 instead of 9. That's not bad. Plus a boost. The trickery. Okay. So this is gonna be my element. This is gonna be my spell. And then I'm gonna make this the boost for +4. Is that worth it? I don't think that's worth it. That'll give me this for +5. Okay. I need more boots. I don't have enough boots for this. Alright, so this has to be a boot. And then this, man, all my stuff is purple too. Oof. This is a hard hand here. This is a hard hand to make work, but we're gonna try to make it work. We're trying to do it for the demo. Okay, this is a 6, so we'll do it this way. Do that. We can do that. We'll do that. Then we'll do this. Switch that here. Okay. All right. So I was able to concoct this. So this is these are things that we'll check. So we have 2 different journeys that we're doing. We're doing a journey 1, journey 2, and then we're doing a middle here, which is our reserve card for the boost. So the first thing we check is we check to see our total values of all of our journeys. So for this journey, we're going to be a yellow spell, and it does not match purple, so we only get the base one, which is 6. And we get a boost of 3, so this is going to be a 9. This one over here is going to be a purple spell, and we get a base of 5 because it matches that, so we get 5, and then we get +3, so it's going to be 8. And then because this one matches the challenge type of purple, that means that we get to add the boost here. Now, even if both of these were purple, we would only be able to add this boost once. So in this case, we have 9 + 4 + 8. So 9 + 4 + 8, what is that? 9 + 4 is going to be 13, + 8 is going to be 21. So for 21, we look at our dragon card over there, and 21 will put us, not quite, we'll put us right there. So in that case, we will be facing that side. So we have 19. So we're not quite at 23, but we are at 19. And I don't know if there's another way for me to formulate that to make it better, but it is what it is. We play what we play. So we are here where we are. So now that we have that, we're gonna lose 3 time. So we're gonna take our remaining cards here. We're gonna lose 3 time, which I feel like I'm missing cards. There we go. Sorry, it was missing cards. So 1, 2, 3. These cards are discarded. And then we take all the cards here, all 7 of these, including our reserved, and we discarded. And then we take all the cards we have left, and this is added to our hand. So now we make 2 sets for fighting, and we focus on the other side. So we make 2 sets for fighting. I do not have any reserve cards here. I can't do any fancy shenanigans, which is unfortunate. But now we try to see if we can take them out. Now, one other thing I could have done, which is what I probably should have done, because I had a bunch of fight on the last one, is I could have, taken 6 of the 7 cards that I had, put those into the back of the deck, and then take 1 card discarded from the game, not from the game, sorry, discarded into the discard side of things, and then draw a new hand of 7 cards, and then go from there. I probably should have done that, but here's how I'm playing this, because like I said, I'm only doing the demo. In this case, we're in a little bit of dire straits because we only have one attack. So we're going to be having a hard time here. And essentially, if I play through this, I'm not going to have a great time. We're going to be dead. So we're not going to play through it. But essentially, that's how the final fight works. After all that goes through, if you have done enough damage to reach at least tier 1 over here, if you've done enough damage to reach at least tier 1, then you suffer that damage with your current cards in your hand. And if you are still alive, as in you still have at least 1 card in your hand, then you win the game. And then you take all the cards that you have, you look at the levels of all cards that are not knocked out, you add that up, and that'll be your total score plus all the cards in your hand left. And that'll be your total score, see how you did. And that's pretty much it. Okay, cool. I just want to explain the last part because I thought it was pretty cool how they played it out. So let's go and get into our pros and cons, or things that I like, things that I didn't like, and all that fun stuff. So as far as things that I like about this game, I like the fact this game is a pretty small box. I didn't mention before, but I do have the 2 expansions for this game. The expansions add quite a bit of variety. One of the expansions gives you specialized mages. So instead of just playing the purple mages, you can play the special purple mages, and it kind of gives you like a character to use. You can also mix and match how you want. So you can have 1 special mage in each group. You can have 4 special mages of purple or 4 purple mages of yellow. There's various different ways you can set it up. So I like the variety that this one adds. It gives you kind of some specialized characters that do different things that break how the game is played. This is a siege, isn't it? Oh yeah, this is a siege one. Sorry, wrong one. And then the other one, which is siege, is pretty cool too. That's one I just picked up. But let me talk about that one later. Hold on, let me finish talking about this one. So for the North Vale, that's what it's called. You have these specialized mages, and they also have a position bonus. So if they're in a certain position, they'll be able to do a special thing. And it's just really cool because it kind of gives you like a little bit more flavor, a little bit more variety for your characters. You also have different regions you can fight, and of course 4 more dragons that you can fight that will take advantage of the new system, or may force you to take advantage of the new system that's in play. The other expansion is going to be the siege one. And I haven't played a full game of either of these. I've only played like even a partial learning game for both. But for the siege one, essentially there's some additional symbols that exist. There's also battlements that exist, things that you can use to kind of reinforce stuff, and they'll get different symbols. And you can also play as the dragons to try to fight back against the people who are trying to stop you from being a dragon. So it gives you another way to play. Unfortunately, I think a lot of what's in Siege is not compatible with North Vale, and vice versa, but you can still kind of mix and match some of the stuff there. Anyway, okay, cool. Now I'll talk about that. The variety. I like the variety that the game has, despite it being such a small box. Yes, it requires you to get the expansions, but if you do get the expansions, the amount of variety that you have here for the game is pretty nice, especially for such a small game that fits in such a small footprint. The other thing I like about this game is I do kind of like the puzzle that it gives you. The puzzle is interesting because you're always trying to like, okay, how can I min-max this? And it's basically just like a min-maxing puzzle for, your self-indulgence. And I appreciate that greatly because it's like, you look at it one way, it's impossible. You look at it another way, oh, this is actually very possible. And it also gives you enough tools, in my opinion, to kind of mitigate some really terrible situations. Like, for instance, that first situation that I had before, I really should have paid attention to the fact that I had a lot of attack cards in my hand. Going against the dragon, that I should have just went on ahead, bit the bullet, discarded a card, drew 6, and then hopefully had a better go of it. So it kind of gives you that whole situation, like making it feel like it's your fault if something bad does happen, and also keeping you in the game if you do just end up with a bad string of luck. The last thing I'll say that I like about this game too is I do like the fact this game is so portable that you can play it in your own hand. That's neat. That means you can take it on a train, a plane, a car trip, and just kind of do a playthrough. I do think the game's length warrants itself to being a nice like time burner if you don't want to stare at your screen or something, or if you're in a situation to where maybe your phone's dead and you had this game in your pocket for some reason. That's pretty nice. It's always nice to be able to play a game that's very portable. I think this game and Palm Island are the only 2 games that I have that you can really do that. I guess Love Letter, but you need other people to play. But both Palm Island and this game, solo games, Palm Island, you can play 2 players as well. It's nice that you kind of have that variety, that you can just kind of have those games carrying with you, that portability, that variety, that depth of game. It's all there, and it's all fun, and it's all enjoyable. Now, going into the cons, going into things I didn't like. One of the biggest things that I don't like is I don't understand how this became a problem. I know Chip Theory, one of their big claim to fame is that, hey, we use plastic cards, PVC cards, it's going to last forever, you can play it underwater. But if you look at my cards here, you'll notice, and I'll zoom in pretty dramatically here. If you look at my cards here, you'll notice that they have quite a bit of wear and tear on them. And I've only played this game like maybe 6 times. I think four times that I've recorded at least, and 3 times that I've recorded, and the other times are learning games. But you can kind of see here the edges are getting very worn away. I was kind of worried about this becoming very scratched up, but honestly, this is all fine. Like, this is looking pretty okay. But the edge of these cards, man, oof, it's just rough. Look at that, it's just so rough. And what while you might look at it and say, okay, that's not that big of a deal. If you compare it to the cards in the expansion, oh my gosh, I can't get the cards out. If you compare it to the cards in the expansion, which I have not played nearly as much, like I said, a half game at best for each one, you'll see that, yeah, these cards are like nice and pristine looking, and these ones are definitely worn and definitely have some wear and tear. So the reason I'm pointing that out is because durability is one of the biggest things for this game. You know, your game is supposed to be durable. It's made of plastic cards. It's lasting, pretty much can last forever. And that's kind of true. But when you expose it to the elements, expose it to the hand, expose it to the physicality of shuffling, all that stuff, it looks like still even these cards will have issues with wear and tear. And it's something that will naturally happen with the game. It's not gonna make me stop playing the game. And in hindsight, even if I do mix this with the other expansions that I've played not as much, you won't. It will be inconsequential. It just makes the card look rough. It makes the cards look rough. It's inconsequential though because even if I see that okay, I got a brand new card coming up versus a non-brand new card coming up, it still gives me the same amount of information, which is not much, that I had before. So I do think the longevity of this game still exists and everything, but I just it's just kind of sorry, too far. There we go. There we go. The longevity of this game is not really in question for me personally, but it's just the wear and tear and just the look of it is just like, oh, these cards are rough. And that's just showing like a well-loved game, a well-worn game, but I would rather my games look as pristine as possible for as long as possible, and it's a little bit worrying. One of the biggest reasons for that is just that you have a black border here. Anytime you have a black edge on cards, you're liable to run into issues to where once wear and tear starts happening, it starts being more visible. This is especially true with cardboard cards, but with PVC cards, I wasn't really expecting that, but in hindsight, it makes sense because the edge of the cards is where, my hand's kind of touching and the cards rubbing against each other. And, especially the cards can rotate and they change position of being on top of my hand or bottom of my hand. It makes sense that the wear and tear is happening, but it's definitely a con because I think it's making the game look very rough and well-worn. And while some people might love that, for me, I'm like, oh, it looks kind of unsightly. The other thing I don't like about this game is that some of the situations you can end up in are purely purely enraging. As in, you have a situation to where you face an enemy who seems specifically designed to cause you problems. Let me go into here. Let's use this guy. So this guy's a perfect example. So I'll bring him up here on the screen. So this guy right here is specifically designed to cause you all kinds of chaos because the priority for this one is 9, which is pretty high, and the health is 11. And also it has a poison. So the poison says, if this creature, actually where's the poison? I don't know, where is it at? The poison effect says, when you suffer damage, when you suffer damage, you also suffer 1 damage the next hand. It's a poison. And that damage happens before you start doing things. So once you draw your cards, then you have to decide where that 1 damage is coming from. The reason why I'm pointing that out is because this one's specifically designed to kind of screw you over. Because unless you add your boost to your priority, you're probably not going to beat them because it's in region 3, so maybe you could. But 11 damage, just doing that straight from a single card is pretty not common unless you got a really good damage card. And then on top of that, the red cards do the most damage. So he already has 2 block for the red cards. It just causes all kinds of turmoil and problems. Really frustrating. I understand that the game is basically saying, hey, you got to take some hits eventually. And I appreciate that. I can respect that you take some hits eventually. It's not just a solvable, easy game you can just, breeze on through. But it's also frustrating when it's kind of forced upon you because of stuff like that. In contrast, your cards, when you upgrade them, they will sometimes add symbols. Now, for me, I prefer the consequences of my actions to be in the form of that. So for instance, this card, once it's upgraded to level 4, has a symbol here. Some cards have symbols on different levels, but if this card's on the top of my deck, then I'm going to be facing, let's see, this card's on top of my deck and I'm in region 3. I'm going to be facing enemy number 2 who has this symbol already, and they're going to get this symbol as well. So it means it's going to make it harder for me. But for me, this feels like a situation of, okay, I've upgraded this card quite a bit, so the consequence is that I have a strong card, now I have stronger enemies, and I feel like that's much better. That's a much better way to do it. Whereas this situation specifically is so frustrating because it's like, he has a poison, so I'm going to lose a level for a card for, just taking a hit because I couldn't get 9 priority. And it's either take 9 priority or it's either get myself up to 9 priority or do at least 11 damage. Because if I only do half damage, he's still going to hit me for 2, and then I'll get poisoned anyway. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. So that part I think is really frustrating because it's kind of like forced. You're going to lose some hit points here. Whereas the organic way to do it, in my opinion, is that as you upgrade, just things get a little bit more hectic, things get a little more worse. I prefer that, in my humble opinion. So that's the thing that frustrates me, is that it's kind of just baked into the card. And the last negative that I kind of give to this game is that I feel like the end game is a little underwhelming. I don't know how else to explain it outside of, you see the dragon, and it's just basically saying, hey, do you have the right cards at the right time and the right combination? Did you level up enough? And if the answer is yes, then you win the game. If the answer is no, then you lose. And it just kind of feels underwhelming. It's like, you have all this build up of fighting people, fighting different things, fighting different villains, and then you get to the end and it's just doing some mathematics to see, okay, do you have enough to reach this? Do you have enough to reach that? And if the answer is yes, then congratulations, you score 30 points this time. Or if you have more than that, oh, congratulations, you score 50 points this time. And it feels underwhelming, to say the least. So I like that there's an end. I like that the end is as epic as they can try to make it. Like having the 7 cards for your journey and then having whatever's left for your fight. That's cool. But it's just underwhelming for all the build up. Like I feel like I've played this game and I just keep playing it. And then I get to the end and it's just like, okay, how many points do you have? Okay, subtract, 20 points from it and there's your final score. And it's like, well, that feels crummy. Why did you do that? Why did I play this? That's the whole journey. Like the place I'm going to doesn't feel good. Anyway, so those are my biggest critiques. Those critiques do go away specifically on that one once you start bringing in the expansion stuff, though. Mainly because, more specifically Siege, because from what I was looking at with Siege, Siege kind of gives you it doesn't give you a different in-game situation. It just gives you another thing to kind of keep track of and worry about. So you want your battlements to be in a certain health. And again, this is from my very cursory understanding of how Siege works. I might be very much speaking incorrectly, but it kind of gives you like another thing to check for, another thing to try to keep healthy, another thing to try to keep and take care of, as opposed to, will I score more points because my deck was built great, or will I spend less, or will I get less points because my deck drew wrong or my deck wasn't built as great? So again, your mileage will vary. I can see that kind of being a neutral given all the things I just said if you have the expansions, but it requires you to have the expansions. Thankfully, this game is not that expensive. It's about $30 all in. That's about how much I paid for it for the base game plus the 2 expansions, $10 a piece essentially. Kudos to Chip Theory, who traditionally has like pretty expensive stuff, for having these at a reasonable price. Less than $40 all in is pretty good. And for the experience that I get, I super think it's worth it. If this game was like $60 instead and include all the expansions, I think it'll be too much for this game, for the experience, especially with how it ends. But in its current state, again, $40 all in at most, from what I bought for it, what I paid for it. Actually, let me double check, because I'm pretty sure I paid 12 for this and 10 for the 2 expansions, but I can check it by app because I keep track of that. Yep, $12.75 for this, and then for the expansions, I paid I think $10 a piece. Let me go back. Dragons of Etchinstone. Sorry, I'm just searching in my board game stats app. Yeah, $10 a piece. Yep. So correct. So $40 all in, pretty great price. Phenomenal price, good value, travel game. You can play with it. I can sing its praises all day long. The other bit that I think is important to note is that you can play this game in your hand, which is a pro and a con, because it feels awkward. But once you kind of get a flow going, it feels kind of cool. You're just kind of playing the whole game and doing your whole thing. So that's fun. It does make kind of looking back at the rule sheet a little bit of a pain when you need to check to see the abilities, because you have to find a way to hold it. And if your hands are pretty small, then I can see this being kind of unruly in your hand. I have somewhat large hands here, so it's a little bit less of a problem. But even for me, it's just like, oh man, I gotta get these cards kind of sorted properly. And also, I forgot about this part. My hand is like rubbing against this side, so it's causing wear and tear on that side. Oh, it's a whole thing. Anyway. Okay, so overall, if I had to give a rating to this game, I would give a rating just based on the base game itself and the potential for the expansions. I say potential for the expansions because I haven't played all the way through the expansions, like I keep saying. But I would give it a solid rating for this game is definitely like a 7, up from a 6.5. I say up from a 6.5 because I did originally kind of, just feel that the gameplay loop was a little bit stale and kind of boring. But then once I thought about the combination, the additional things that the expansions bring in, and then I thought about kind of the different variability that you get from game to game. It went for me as high as a 7.5, but then I dropped it back down to a 7 once I thought about the wear and tear, and just for me personally, it bothers me. So 7 out of 10 is what I would give this game. I know I end up rating a lot of my games 7s out of 10s, but that's mostly because if the game is not of a certain caliber of game, I don't put it on my shelf anyway. So for this one's definitely on my shelf. This one definitely has a place in space for my shelf, and sits at a 7. I can see it going higher, especially as I get to learn the North expansion and the Siege expansion a little bit more, and it gives me a little more variety. But I just like the idea of being able to play this game and kind of have like that experience and then kind of move on. I do think it'll be kind of cool if there was some kind of roguelike ability that you can do to this game. What would that look like? I have no clue. How would you do that? I have no clue. But it would be cool if there was something like that, because it would be nice to have like a little roguelike you can play in your hand. But I guess that's not this game, that's some other game. So kudos to Chip Theory for bringing this game on. Kudos to the original designer for this game, because I do, in my research, I did see that this game was originally a print and play from somebody who, I forgot the person's name, but somebody who designed it themselves. Actually, it's probably their name on the box here. Where is it at? Hold on. Would it be back here? Yeah, by Joe Cliffell. Oof, I just butchered that, didn't I? My apologies. Oh man, they also have a culture consultation. Nice. Look at you guys. Chip Theory out here just doing their jobs. That's what I'm talking about. Culture consultation consultants are pretty good because they let you make sure that your game is not stepping on toes and being insensitive to different groups and sets of people. But anyway, going back to what we're talking about here, though, I do, like I said, I do give kudos to Chip Theory for picking up this game and printing it out on the PVC cards. That does add to the longevity and to the durability of it. I do give kudos to the original designer of the game when it was back in his print and play days. And I think it's a pretty fun experience. I think it's worth the investment of $40 or less, and I just think it's just, I can't give it any more higher accolades for a small box big game, because you do have a pretty epic game in your hand. The randomness is a little bit frustrating at times, and sometimes you do end up in impossible situations where you have to just take a hit, and that doesn't feel good. But outside of that, solid experience. Is at least consistently random at times, and it has more expandability here in the expansion. So that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you all think of this game and how you feel about it, and if you two agree that some of the random in the game is good to kind of keep things going, or if you agree, sorry, I don't know why I say agree, if you feel like I do that the random is a little frustrating at times, or if you feel instead that the random is actually good and healthy for the game. So that is it. So thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope this was informative. And as always, I will see you all whenever.